Big sip of the coffee. So analysis video? Yeah, mini analysis video. How about that? So, Star Wars.
Turn off the flash, you fucking moron!
I think that's pretty ding-dang cool. I'm a big old fan of Star Wars, and I love pretty much everything Star Wars. And because I enjoy myself some Star Wars, I was in fact watching some Star Wars-related YouTube videos earlier, one of which was about the rise of Skywalker, and it got me thinking about a little theory I had that it seems like nobody else talks about, ever, or at least from what I've seen. Then again, I have actively chosen not to watch a ton of reviews of the recent Star Wars films because just watching people argue about Star Wars all the time, it's just fucking exhausting. I appreciate the passion, but like, they're space wizard movies for 12-year-olds. Y'all need to fucking relax, okay? And part of me myself would really like to do a deep dive into the things that I enjoy about Star Wars and my thoughts on all of the films, but then again, it would just be another fat, bearded white guy on the internet talking about Star Wars, and I mean, we got enough of that already, so. But my opinions about things I liked in Star Wars are the correct ones. You have to listen to it because it's my YouTube channel. Good lord, okay. So the thing I want to talk about is the interaction between Han Solo and Kylo Ren, right after Kylo Ren had been defeated and been healed by Rey. So every piece of media that I've seen put forward, people are claiming that this is either a Force ghost or that this is a memory that Kylo Ren is having during the conversation with his dad. And simply put, I don't buy that. My theory on this is that this is nothing more than a Force projection being put forth by Leia. My reasoning for this is simply because, well, if it was a Force ghost, he would be translucent and blue, and he never learned that Force ghost ability. It makes sense that Leia would have learned that because she would have learned that from Luke, who probably could have learned that from the Force ghost of Obi-Wan, who learned that from the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn.
In your solitude on Tatooine, training I have for you. An old friend has learned the path to immortality. One who has returned from the netherworld of the Force. Your old master, Qui-Gon.
If this was a memory that Kylo was having, that'd be a really odd particular memory for him to have. Just being like, yes, I remember this exact moment, so here, weird hallucination. But we established both in the Clone Wars cartoon and re-established in The Last Jedi that Force projection is a power. And it seems that people who are Force sensitive are affected by Force projections. Again, we saw this in the Clone Wars, and we saw it quite a bit in The Last Jedi when they are re-establishing that this is an ability that certain Force users can have if they're very, very powerful. I mean, we see Kylo and Rey touch each other's hands. In this film, we see them pass each other a lightsaber. And it could lean a little bit into the theory that Luke actually was harmed by Kylo swinging his lightsaber through his Force projection because they're both Force-sensitive individuals at the end of The Last Jedi. But it mostly seemed like he died because it was such an overuse of the Force and he had been out of it for so long. So that one holds a little bit less merit to me. Fun idea, though. We do also see Luke pass Leia Force-projected dice that end up fading away when he dies. So yeah, if you use the Force and it's a Force projection, it seems like they're tangible to each other, but maybe not to people who aren't Force sensitive. And speaking of characters dying and fading away, we got this really important line during the flashback training scene where it talks about how Leia saw Ben dying at the end of her journey for being a Jedi.
It was the last night of her training. Leia told me that she had sensed the death of her son at the end of her Jedi path. She surrendered her saber to me and said that one day it would be picked up again by someone who would finish her journey.
Which is why she stopped her general combat training, probably believing that that would have stopped her journey to being a Jedi. However, she does end up training Rey, much like a Jedi Master trains a Padawan. So it seems like her being a Jedi concept didn't really have it in title, but it never really stopped. She still was kind of fulfilling the role of being a Jedi Master, but yeah, not in name. Which coincides with the fact that at the very end of the film, when we see Ben die and he fades away into the Force, all of a sudden, Leia, who was laying under the sheet for the past 45 minutes, fades away as well. What this is saying to me is that the whole time, she wasn't dead, she was just in some weird Force coma state, and during that scene where Ben Solo needed her the most, she Force projected the penultimate idea of what Ben needed. Reinforcement and forgiveness from his father at his lowest point, creating a visual of the ultimate parenthood, the love of Leia that we see that she tried to give, the forgiveness that she wanted to give Ben this whole time, with the missing father figure that he needed in his life. It's great. The co-parenting finally came together really late in the game. Good job, Solos. And then, hey, that works out pretty nicely. Ben dies, she dies at the same time. She fades away into the Force, just like we've seen a bunch of other Jedi before her.
Like my father before me.
Like my father before me.
My dad.
And that's her actual death, not her laying under the sheet. And I understand that that was most likely a restriction to the footage that they had. And I think it feeds well into this moment of bringing back Ben to the light side of the Force. But yeah, I just don't buy that she was dead. But anyway, that's my theory. It was just a Force projection because of bad parenting. But that... Star Wars. Should I say something controversial about Star Wars just to bring it home to every Star Wars video on YouTube that tries to strike forth some sort of controversy? The Mandalorian is just as equally pandering as any other piece of Star Wars film to nostalgia, and you can't change my mind on that fact. It really is, but it's okay. That's fine. I really don't care if Star Wars references Star Wars.
ATSTs! ATSTs!
It's pandering. It's all pandering. It's fine. Consume! Consume Space Wizard toy. Do it now. Anyway, hope y'all have a good day. Love you. Bye.